Robbie Knievel getting ready to jump 30 limos. Let's hear it for him, folks.
30 limousines at the Tropicana. Long, long jump. 198-foot gap. Fast. Had a big parking lot. It was just having the guts to go over the jump. That gap was the longest jump I'd ever tried at the time. 50 feet further than Caesar's Palace. Gap distance. And they made me cover 9 of the limousines. So I didn't hit any of them. I would have got killed landing short and bouncing over anyway if I didn't hit the down ramp. So yeah, long, long jump. I usually say there's either butterflies or cockroaches as far as my nerves. Butterflies. Like every jump, I do it by feel. It was like just grab a handful and go off the ramp with as much as you got without flipping the bike over. I went through the air and got straight up and down. I didn't want to hit the back brake because you feel like you're landing shorter than you actually are. And I just left the back brake alone because I felt like it might slow me down in the air. So I didn't even want to hit it. I just glided. Come on, come on, come on.
He's done it! Captain Robbie Knievel, the safe landing and the world records.
Perfect. On a scale from 1 to 10, that was a 10. White men can jump. February 23rd, 2000. I went head-on against a steam engine train. It was a cartoonist idea years ago and told my dad Robbie should jump a train head-on, but didn't even think of a steam engine. I thought the train was crazy enough. And the train, we figured out, would be about 9 seconds from its start coming head-on around the corner. Then there was this first flagman that I couldn't see, he was so far away. Then there was a second flagman, my crew chief Bill, in the middle. And he's the only one I could see, so when it hit the first flagman, our count was 1, 2, 3. That was my count sitting on my bike. And that night, I'm sitting there on the plywood, and I'm waiting and waiting for this train, and my radiator starts dribbling because my bike is overheating. Well, that radiator fluid on the plywood, I didn't know was there. So when it was time to go, I gassed it, and I started spinning my rear wheel in my radiator fluid for about, I'd say, 30 feet. And I was going to back out in a split second, and I hooked up, and I jumped on the other side of the tracks, along the fence, came back at the ramp, and I wanted to be 30 feet in front of that train, but I went right through the steam. I just said, screw it, and I went at it. And I landed 200 feet on the other ramp, and again, got up. May 20th. 1999, the Grand Canyon. It was a long-ass ways. So the Grand Canyon, crazy, scale from 1 to 10, 10 crazy. Not quite as crazy as the buildings to this day. Top of the ramp, I was a little more nervous, but I'd say cockroaches or butterflies, right in between.
Here's the ride. Knievel attempting to jump the Grand Canyon.
So I went way too fast, landed way down, sprained my ankles. I don't know if it was on the hit or flip-flopping, but I hit them rocks right after the landing ramp. It kicked my rear end up, and I knew I couldn't stop because I had no rear brake. I had a front brake, so I grabbed it, bailed off, and flip-flopped into the hay bales. It was just another nutty jump, and I didn't want to overshoot the landing ramp because I knew I would have broken half, and I'm lucky I didn't. Probably at the age I was for dropping that far, so I do things by feel. I'm the best at it, and I just go with my gut, go with my talent. I lucked out on the Grand Canyon. I lucked out. In the late 70s, practice jumping on my dad's ramps, I started wanting to push the limit a little, so I started letting go of the handlebars. Look, Dad, no hands. So that became my trademark. Through the late 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000. But as the jumps got harder and bigger, You had to get off the takeoff ramp perfect in the right wide open situation to give yourself a no-hander. Letting go of the handlebars, a lot of jumpers don't understand, or they do. When you let go of the bars, all your weight shifts to the bike. So when you land, you're landing almost twice as hard or with that much more weight on your bike. Even though you grab back on, you don't have time to shift and stand back up usually on the bike. So you're hitting a lot harder on a no-hander. My trademark, I'll take it. Actually, I learned it from a motocross guy way back before I was old. My trademark, no hands, looked at, no hands. 20 years before X Games was ever even thought of. I'll take it. I'll keep it. Wait. I wish I was on an island with Marianne and Ginger. And Mrs. Owl right now. I'd even be fucking Gilligan. I just want out of here.